My name is David Washington, and today we're talking about rent control. Is it possible in 2023? Yes, indeed it is, but it's going to take the collective effort that everyone will not necessarily appreciate. Landlords are having the best time of their lives right now because they're seeing record profits. That is, if their tenants are able to pay their rent on time. I'm giving you my daily tips that can bring solutions to tenants that are struggling to pay their high rent. Landlords can benefit from, while builders and developers can see tax advantages and abatements that can save on construction and labor costs. So let's get right into it. My tip number one is rent stabilization. Implement rent stabilization programs where rent increases are limited but not necessarily frozen to a certain percentage tied to inflation or a fixed interest rate. Now, normally when you renew your lease, your rent typically increases by the rate of inflation. Post-COVID, it seems like investors, apartment complex owners, and mine-pie investors have all lost their minds, increasing rent by double or even tripling what was previously charged. No regulation or anyone to answer to has allowed high rent values to become unaffordable and definitely unacceptable. I recently spoke at the Georgia State Capitol where senators were talking about rent control as well as HOA foreclosures. And trust me, over the next few days, we will be talking about HOA foreclosures. This gentleman got up and talked about he and his disabled elderly mother renting a house for over 5 years. The landlord within the last 2 years would not allow them to renew their lease, so they were going month to month. At the end of the day, the landlord found a way to terminate their tenancy and served them with an eviction notice. Once they were evicted, the landlord literally went and rented the same house to someone paying more than double what they were paying. This is completely unacceptable. Now this young man and his elderly disabled mother are staying in an extended stay hotel where they are barely able to make ends meet. Georgia will soon talk about some of the ideas that I'm going to be discussing on my daily tips about rent control and what can be done about it. Rent stabilization will limit what landlords can charge, especially for people that's renewing their leases. Please stay tuned for tomorrow for the next tip where we're talking more about rent control.